What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XRP today. We got a couple of interesting things to talk about in this video. We're going to go over the charts and stuff as usual, but there's some news that I want to go over real quick. I say news. I feel like Dr. Evil. Freaking lasers, man. We're going to go over some news here, and then we're going to get into the charts. Okay, there's some interesting things in the charts as well. So hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Let's get into it. Okay, here we are. Let's go over Ripple here. Now, Ripple and XRP aren't the same, but I think that this is pretty interesting nonetheless. I think that this is promising for XRP because what's good for Ripple, what's good for RLUSD or the XRP ledger is good for XRP, right? Introducing the next building block of on-chain markets, we're partnering with DBS Bank and FTI Global to establish repo markets powered by tokenized collateral and stablecoins. Tokenized collateral and stablecoins, right? Stablecoins, RLUSD, Ripple USD, tokenized collateral with XRP. Right, yeah. That's where it's not just going to be valuable for Ripple. It's going to be valuable for the XRP network. Investors will be able to use RLUSD to trade to trade for Franklin Templeton's money market fund, SG Benji, tokenized on the XRP ledger and listed on DBS's digital exchange, earning yield and opening new liquidity ventures. Institutional momentum is building on chain. And I mean, tokenized collateral, you could tokenize obviously this here as well. So maybe not just with XRP, but with other things too that they're tokenizing. But anyways, this is pretty cool because repo transaction volume is well into tens of trillions of dollars globally, Jack McDonald says. Nearly 12 trillion in the US alone in 2024, you guys. DBS and FTI Global and Ripple will together enable the first ever repo trade for a tokenized money market fund with RLUSD. You guys, that's huge. You tap into that just in the United States, $12 trillion, right? You tap into that well, man. That's massive, and I think that would reflect positively for XRP as well. There's a lot going on here. If you're investing in XRP and you don't know what it does, man, you need to research it a little bit more. You need to look into Ripple. You need to see what they do. If you're just like, oh, I'm just invested in XRP because people say, because that's probably a lot of people, man. Not a lot of like the dedicated XRP army people, but a lot of people this cycle I think got into XRP just because they were told it's going to do well. But they don't know. If somebody asks them on the street, what does XRP do? They'd be like, I don't know. It goes up in price. I don't know. Do some research. Look into the fundamental things. It builds conviction. You need conviction, right? It's very important. I made a whole video on that, actually. In order for tokenized financial assets to solve the problems they've been promised to solve, we need both, one, liquid secondary markets, and two, utility for these assets, right? That's exactly what they're doing with this announcement. Yeah, the liquid secondary markets is the repo markets. Very liquid, right? Very, very liquid. $12 trillion. Anyways, let's talk about the charts. Let's get this going, okay? $3.12 is your current price right now. Looking at this on a weekly time frame, you are moving up. It looks nice. Actually, before we get into this, I want to talk about the ribbons here because on the daily time frame, you're doing something that's very beneficial. You had a bearish cross ignite right here. You pulled back into it, and then you pulled through it. It was actually a false cross. It was like the most extreme kind of contraction you could have in this ribbon, and then you save the day. Not only that, not only did you have a very extreme reaction and pull all the way through the ribbon, but you actually back tested it and had a significant bounce right off it. This on the daily time frame is phenomenal whenever you get this kind of reaction, you guys. Let's see if we can find something similar to this. I mean, similar right here, right? You pulled through it, you found support, and then you rallied. Here you pulled through it, you did not find support. There was no rally. You actually found resistance, and then you dumped down. You found resistance, you dumped down, right? Similar to this, kind of, but let's see if we can find a better example. Maybe not. Maybe, it doesn't happen often, but I'm just telling you that this is very ideal, what you're doing now. And it makes me think that you've got days and weeks ahead of you that will build. As this ribbon, you see how it's contracted down here? As it expands, that's when the moves continue. That's whenever the move builds. So here you're very contracted. You're flipping to the upside. You just bounced off it. You're ready to expand, and that implies that you're going to see great movement over the coming days and coming weeks. I wouldn't be surprised in the least, like this here from $2.25 all the way up to $3.67. You're going to see something very similar to that. You're going to be ripping to prices well above $4. Maybe by the end of this month, you could be very well at new all-time highs, demolishing your current all-time highs by the end of this month, you guys. Maybe you consolidate a little bit, and then in October you continue to rally. I'd very much expect that going into October you continue to rally. Looking at the weekly time frame, same kind of thing here, right? You back tested, boom, beautiful. Literally couldn't be more perfect with that back test there. It's a beautiful reaction that you had. So overall, weekly ribbon looks great. The daily ribbon looks great. Love to see it. What about the monthly? Why not? Of course, the monthly looks great. Let's go to the 2-month. I'm just curious. We don't normally look at the 2. Most cryptos don't have enough history to have a 2-month ribbon. XRP, by the way, last month closed its highest 2-month candle that it ever closed in its existence, which is pretty damn significant. More significant than most things. What about the 6-month? Yeah, not enough time there. You also had the highest 6-month. You had 2 of the highest 6-month closes in a row, back to back. You're en route for getting the next one as well. We'll see. We'll see. But that wasn't last month. That was back in June. Anyways, looking at this without the ribbon now, getting into the standard stuff. We're looking at this here on a 1-hour time frame. $3.12 right now. You got 36 minutes left in this 1 hour here. RSI looks great. It looks fantastic, right? Rejecting the overbought zone is not ideal, but whenever you reject it and you're building higher lows, we love to see that. Right? You're building higher lows, we love to see that. So that's good. Typically, when you reject the overbought zone, you expect to get down to the 50. You couldn't even do that because you're so bullish. You're so very bullish. Very well postured, right? You've got higher lows, higher highs throughout here. You're clearly in a range that is bullishly pronounced. Could you come down? Sure. And if you do, whatever, right? Even if you come down, whatever, you still have higher lows. It's really not a problem. So you're in a really good position here. You can afford to spill over a little bit and it won't hurt you. If you were to go down, you're at 311, maybe, to see the RSI down there, maybe you go to $3.08. Even if you went below this low here and you went down to $3.05, you're going to be fine, but I don't think you will. After the FOMC meeting yesterday, the announcement at this 18th hour here of the day yesterday, you started to rally. You've just basically been nonstop ever since. I wouldn't call that bearish divergence on your MACD. Yes, you do have lower levels in your histogram, but you're building still right here. You've got higher highs right there. So I wouldn't call it bearish divergence, but it could be a signal that yes, you're slowing down a little bit, and that's fine. I want to look at your high to low here, and let's just see what you're doing. I think you're going to continue to move up, man. Golden ratio to the 0.5 up here. I mean, maybe you move down to $3.09, maybe, but I think you're going to keep moving up. I don't think you're going to move down. If you do, it's not going to be significant. Stochastics look bullish, RSI looks bullish, MACD looks bullish as well. You're at the point where you're about to touch tips. Typically, when you do that, that's actually a bullish thing. You tend to bounce from there. So, expecting good things to come, right? You did the same thing back here whenever you were like being boring, touching, right? Hanging out here, hanging out right here, rip, rally. 4-hour time frame. Rejecting the overbought zone, not necessarily ideal on the 4-hour time frame, 34 minutes left. You're only down 0.5%. You could come up by that much in the next 34 minutes. I think that'd be ideal if you could come up above like $3.13.7 in the next 34 minutes. But even if you don't, whatever, it's okay. By the time you guys watch this video, you'll know. So here on this 4-hour candle, the 12th hour of this day, September 18th, if XRP is above $3.13.7, cool. That's 3.1369. If we're above there, cool. If not, whatever. Maybe you do again. Maybe you come down to $3.09, $3.05, whatever. But then you'll continue to rally. Stochastics are bullish. MACD looks very bullish on the 4-hour. Okay, first off, you've got this nice trajectory with your oscillators coming up, higher lows throughout all of this. It looks really great. Higher lows, higher highs, fantastic. And you're scooping the zero with your oscillators here. You see your oscillators coming down, the zero line right here. You're scooping the zero and finding support. You're getting a very solid amount of bullish momentum being built here on the MACD. We love to see it. Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic. Let's look at it's actually here. Let me look at this from a low to a high real quick. Oh, that was not the low. Low. Come on, not low to a high. 382 bounce. Perfect. Perfect. You literally look perfect. You look like absolutely perfect. Yes. You want to go higher. Undoubtedly, you want to go higher. Yeah. In fact, I think what we should be measuring right now is from a high to a low, what you're going to do here. Okay, so high to low right here. My expectation is that we should be, maybe by the end of today, if not certainly, I think by the end of this week, we'd be at 325 to 333. It's time to start thinking about these targets. This is a relatively small fib extension, so I think it's even completely appropriate to think about the 1886 to 2618. That's $3.40 to $3.60, and that's all the way up right at your all-time high area here, you guys, right? It's kind of great that the secondary fib area, the 1886 to the 2618, it basically fully encapsulates this whole area here. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if that's what you're doing. Maybe by the end of this week, we got like 4 days left or 3.5 days left, right? How many days left actually? Yeah, 3 days, 9 hours left. A lot of growth, a lot of growth. I very much believe XRP will be at new all-time highs by the end of this month, you guys. You're on your way right now, right? Again, the thought here is XRP. Yeah, but it's got lower highs. It might go down. I don't know. I want to wait and see. Oh my God, it's going to new all-time highs. Valhalla awaits. You know, the perspective shift is going to be dramatic. It's going to be like that. For most people investing in XRP, you're bullish no matter what. This thing could drop down here, and you're like, I'm buying more. It's still going higher, right? But for some people who are indecisive, undecided, if you hear that noise, it's my daughter rolling around on her bike. She's smiling. Yeah, you silly. But I think that we're about to break out of this. The perspective, and I mean, really, we're doing the bump and run, right? You broke out of this, you back tested, now you're going to run. Classic bullish endeavor pattern here. You had the fake out low. You got me. I thought we were going to go lower. I definitely did up until we got like to these areas. I forget. I think it was September 10th that we started flipping bullish again on the whole damn markets, and we flipped bullish dramatically, and we haven't shifted back since. Overall, we've been bullish. Every single video we talk about things going to the upside here, but I very much do expect that XRP is on a path higher. We're going to see it move all the way up to about $11.50 to $16. I'm personally thinking something above $13 is coming our way. If not by the end of October, then by the end of the year. I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's time to close your shorts. It's time to open up some longs and buy this thing because it's about to rally, man. Maybe not here. Maybe it goes to $3.09 or $3.05, but I'm going to end the video there so you can stop hearing the squeaks. Hit the like button, subscribe. Take care of yourselves. All right, bye-bye.